Now this gets to be a moment when I come back on, because as I was taking little video intervals, I decided to work on the undersides of the wings of the other two of these. So I will say that, like we said, we skipped the part where he curves out the tail with the little gouge. Rick Butts is who I'm talking about. That's the author of the book this pattern came out of. He probably was the one who created the pattern as well, but I say as far as a little work comes along, we're kind of getting this to go a long way, and I'd say we've sharpened up our knives here. There's a little place where I've seen some work to come along where we pencil little lines in, and I've already drawn all the lines in the places where they need to be. So we've kind of got a little bit of an underside of a wing here that we are going to work on now. Kind of make it so it's going to drive its way out of us. Make it so it'll be a good little cardinal to come. I will tell you all that I live in the state of Kentucky, and in the state of Kentucky, the cardinal is the state bird. You know, I don't know how I did on sharpening these knives, because apparently I'm not getting them to carve, but I see what it was. I was not carving along with the right direction of the grain. You know, they say that basswood should carve like butter. So I'd say if that's what I heard when I first started carving, was if the basswood ain't carving like butter, that means the knife's not sharp enough. So I'd say with what we go on here, we work along this way. I think in a way might have even not sharpened these knives as much as they needed it, but we'll say I've come my way about it. I finally just got a little place here where I carved a little underneath that wing, and got another little wing to do here, and make a little line to go underneath it, and carve out a little straight pattern and make it come just my way. I say it's just the work as it comes and goes. I tell y'all that it's just the way we take about it. You know, they even say in the book to do the lower edge of the wing before you do the upper edge. So right now that's what we're trying to work on here, and we're going to go about this just as easily and as good as we can, and just take it so it's going to be a brighter little day wage. I say, little cardinal to come along this way. Make it so we see what it's going to be, which gives me little ideas, you know. Maybe one day I might come across a little on the internet, maybe come across a little taxidermy mount for a cardinal. Don't know if that's ever going to happen or not, but be another thing to consider buying if I come across it, you know. Got a little ways we go about this. As you know, we carve along the belly here to try to make it so it's going to be flat and juicy when it comes down to it. It's almost like little robins. Little robins do. And I say for all the work that comes out of this piece, all the suffering that we've done in our lives, makes us all become a whole nother different line of success, I say. And this little work shall make its way to us, see us in the depths of all we do. I say, come down of all things out now and work little ways about this mess. Say we got little cardinals coming this way, and that's what they have sometimes even stated, is they called them the redbirds too. I've even seen how, cardinals have played in different sports, and one thing I even wondered was thinking about how that there's even that office in the Vatican among the Pope that is called the Cardinals. Sometimes I've wondered between them and the birds which one had the name first, but I also understood that there was something about the cardinal bird that it just kind of had a very royal look that kind of resembled the cardinals in the Vatican, which was the reason why they gave it that name. There's been a lot of names given to a lot of creatures over years, over time. We believe, according to the Bible, that Adam gave the original names to the animals, but so much has changed over time that these days we probably don't call them by the same names that Adam gave them. These days you can kind of look them up on Wikipedia by name and find out a little bit more of where their names originated from, like find out that porcupine means pig thorn, find out that rhinoceros means nose horn, find out that hippopotamus means river horse. We know that there's all these names, and aardvark means earth pig. There's been lots of names given to different things over many years. I'd say yes for this. We've come along, making our way around here, carving out the breast of the cardinal, and at some point, knives are going to dole out on you. Somehow or another, I just get the strength to keep working with them, even though they do dole out a little bit. And I remember back in the days when Calvin Grant was still around, he'd teach me how to sharpen it on a stone, and even say to give each side of the knife the same number of strokes against the stone. So that was just the way we worked about that, taking it so it's going to be little things. And I think I might narrow this head out a little more and try to make it a little thinner, like it probably ought to be. So thin it out and see what it's gonna come out like. I say, oh, the cardinal of the world, it works its ways about us, and oh, we always see a little light come in. I live in Kentucky, so the cardinal is my state bird. I've even kind of looked around and saw on Google that there's quite a few other states that have the cardinal as their state bird. Couldn't name them all right off. Couldn't remember what all they were, but all I know is that I looked it up and the Google search had them. So that was what we came up with for little cardinal people. I say little work for what they come to do. And as of this little work, I say it's making its way just to see us in broad daylight. I tell y'all, oh, the work is coming its way, making us see things we never knew before. Oh, this little work will make its way along, and probably got a few more cardinals to be doing this with, but this one is where we are coming along just fine. There's going to be quite a more challenge as to what we do with these. Sometimes with our subjects, we try to stay on things, but it gets a little tough and out of touch, and some things I say that we really work our ways about little things, and finally we've got the work done right in our hands. You know, the little cardinal will come its way. And finally do the work that we always just in our lives wanted to see. And this is what it shall all come down to be. There are some of these that are going to be carved as well. Probably going to be a step or two. We might do away from video a little bit, because when I was carving those Santas, I'd probably preach about random subjects, but I tell you all these days, you know, it just so happens that I can't really get on to do a lot of what I used to do. It gets to the point where I kind of have to really stay with things a little better and know what I'm doing, know what I'm showing, know what I'm displaying, and kind of make it so we're going to show a little light in what we do. And that was going to be all for that video, and we're going to kind of end it right here. Hopefully come back and share some more given the time. So take care, and thanks for watching.